I'm visible.
Okay. You're visible, yeah. I'm not
Okay.
visible?
No, you are visible and audible both very well. Doing.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm. So that Jack, what India is a so many people curious learning English
Hmm.
because in a office in India in every official work in a only done in English. Okay, but
Right.
in South Korea there is a Korean language. The Korean is a main language over there. So
Yes.
people do take interest to learn English over there because lots of people large of population in India very curious to learn this language. But I don't know about the Korea, South Korea.
I don't know if the people are necessarily interested in like curious to learn English here, but I think they understand that it's the international business language. It's kind of important in that sense. Um, I know in India there are a lot of like call centers where, English is necessary, and um
It's colleges. It's a necessary.
colleges, yes,
Yeah,
right. Lectures are in
absolutely.
English, and students have to listen, and the textbook is in English, so you have
Yeah.
to be able to understand the textbook. Um, in Korea, it's the same thing. It's like they want students to learn English, and so there's a test, a college entrance exam that is very important in Korea. Basically, which college you get into is really important in Korea. And I think India is the same. It's very
Yeah, yeah,
competitive.
yeah.
And
India is
so
the same.
students must study English so hard so that they can pass the English portion of the test and get a good score. And then that will help them get into a better college, a better university. So that's why they learn English, is because out of
Okay.
necessity of taking that test.
Okay, whenever anybody, any youth or any young people, those are interested to go to overseas,
Hmm.
like they have to take a test, IELTS.
Yes, yes, the IELTS test. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's a very important for the student. Those are interested to go to overseas. So
Yeah.
in a South Korea also there is a mandatory to take the IELTS.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want to study overseas,
Mhm.
um, certain countries have different tests. Some, it used to be the TOEIC exam was the big one, and now
Yeah,
it's IELTS, especially for like universities. If you want to study in a university overseas in New Zealand or England or America, they want to know what's your IELTS score, and so you
Korea.
have to take an IELTS test. And so yeah, there's a lot of students taking the IELTS here, trying to get a level 5 or above, and then once they hit a certain level, then they
Yeah.
can get into the program
Above
that they want to get into.
above seven is a good marks.
I don't know the IELTS very much, but I seem to recall that like 7 would be like amazing.
Yeah.
5 is like pretty good, and so 6 is better, and
I
7
think
is
five.
really
I
good.
think five is not considered good
Not
actually.
considered very
Seven
okay.
is very
Well,
good
I
actually.
could be wrong. Maybe 7 is like is
Yeah, yeah,
okay, and then higher than that is better.
yeah, yeah.
I'll admit I'm really ignorant when it comes to the IELTS test because I don't teach that. I just teach conversational English and the
Yeah.
university level. I used to teach TOEIC, but that was a long time ago. And so, yeah, I don't know that much about the IELTS test. I don't teach the IELTS, but yeah, I know enough about it that students
Problem.
have to get a minimum score in order to get approved, to get accepted into a university or program overseas. So it's
Yes.
very competitive. Maybe more
Mhm.
competitive. Maybe it's only 5 in Korea, but it's like 7 in India. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
possible.
It's a depend on country to country. Remember,
Maybe.
five is good in South Korea, but in a talk about like India, there is a 7, 8 band is
Right.
necessary.
You need to be in the top like 1% of 1%, to get over there. Yeah.
If a good score like 7 plus 8, like 8, then you could get a good university actually.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah. No,
score.
Koreans are doing the same thing. The system is very similar, I think, for Indian
Yeah.
students that are trying to study overseas, and Korean students. I bet there are probably a lot of Indian and Korean students that are friends. Because they end up meeting in as international students in universities in America and in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand. I'm sure that's a really common thing, because I think both of the countries are really, like, academic rigor is really valued and it's important.
Yeah.
You study, and
Yeah.
that's your way to have a good life. Like, that's
Yeah.
the pathway, is to
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
study hard. Yeah.
hard hard work should be, actually, if you do hard work you can achieve anything in your life. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
believes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next question is that you are just, on your, through your podcast you are giving a teaching like English speaking classes like that,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
so what technique are you using in your, teaching method? Actually, which type of techniques are you using to learn to teach English to the students? Actually.
I really believe in the communicative approach. Communicative approach is where you get students to interact with each other, get them
Mm,
talking to each other, get them out of their comfort zone. If
mhm.
they're because I think, I don't know about India, but in Korea we have something called that we call uncertainty avoidance, right? If you're uncertain in a situation, you don't engage, just listen, just be quiet and don't do anything. But learning a
Okay.
new language is all uncertainty. The whole thing is, that's what learning a language is. You're very uncertain in the beginning, and
Mm,
you have to be willing to take a step forward and try, make a mistake, try again, make a mistake, try again. That's
mm,
really hard for Korean students. It kind of cuts against their upbringing and culture. When it comes to, like, making a mistake, they're
mm.
taught to, in school, you got to be perfect. Don't make any mistakes. But when you're learning a language, it just doesn't work that way. You have to be
Make
willing to make mistakes.
make mistake is a normal, not a big issue.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so my job as a teacher is to come up with activities. How can I make this fun and get them talking to each other in a fun and interesting way that's not
Mhm.
going to be boring, but it's not too difficult, but it's not too easy. That's my job, is to measure that for the class and to come up with an idea that's interesting, and kind of get them out of their shells a little bit, and just be like, you can't come to my class, sit down, and stick your nose in a book. That's not my class. I'm not going to lecture at the front of the
Okay.
classroom. I'm going to give you a task. You need to do this A, B, and C, and then I'm going to walk around and I'm going to make
Mhm.
sure you're doing it. And I'm
Okay.
not, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes. It's
Yeah.
fine. But I'm not going to accept, people that say, "Oh, I'm too shy. I can't do it." Too bad.
Mm.
Everybody tries. Everybody tries. So, yeah, that's my philosophy.
Okay, so how much, in India there is a one problem, biggest problem is that before learning English, you have to mug the all the grammar actually. It's a, could you also believe in it?
No, I don't believe in that. You can read a lot of books about swimming. You could read 100 books about swimming, but you will never understand swimming until you jump in the water and have to
Yeah.
swim. I believe in learning by doing. Learning by doing is the better way, and grammar is important. But if you
Mhm.
are interacting with, if you're getting input, let's say you're watching YouTube videos or watching our interview or your
Mhm.
YouTube channel, and as you speak, you're using correct grammar. So that student watching that video is starting to internalize the
I'm
correct grammar.
right
Yeah,
now.
your grammar is fantastic. Yeah. And so, you know, it's called comprehensible.
Actually, I'm a naughty master at this language. Actually, I'm just a learner. I just started my journey 2.5 and 3 months ago. Just
That I
do you
mean,
feel?
how
Do you
how
feel?
much grammar how much grammar do you think that a student really needs to know to be able to speak English? Because
Basic
I
grammar
know
is.
I know like hundreds of people in America, and I don't think
Mm,
any of them know anything about grammar.
nothing.
If I ask, but
Even.
they're native speakers, so they speak with perfect grammar. But if I ask them, I'll give you $10,000 if you can circle the gerund in this sentence, they
Yeah.
won't. They don't know what I'm talking about. They're like, "What's a
Yeah.
gerund?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's when we use ing on a verb, but we use it as a noun. Oh, I don't. They don't know that. Why would they need to know that? They don't need to know that.
Yeah.
And why do our students need to learn that? They don't. They need to learn to speak by doing. So
Yeah.
I really try to push them into that, and you'll start to internalize the grammar, so you feel you just like feels correct. It's like, oh, that I think that's. I bet you probably rely on intuition a lot as well, right? You're
Yeah. Yeah.
you're like, I'm not sure if this is correct, but this sounds correct, and that usually that intuition is good. That's a good thing. That means you're internalizing the language. Yeah.
Number four.
Yes, that's right. Well, number four is yeah, number four. So this is also true in China, I believe, in the Chinese alphabet, and
Okay.
the in the Chinese alphabet, the number
Okay.
four means death.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, so it's considered an unlucky number. So in our elevator at school, it goes first floor, second floor, third floor, and then they
Mhm.
don't write the number four, they just put F for
Okay.
four, like
But
English four. And they don't use the Chinese character or anything like that because the number four means death, so it's unlucky.
oh, I thought it's a myth. It's a not true, but you are saying it's true. So true, right? But those people, what happened? Those people, those are born on fourth date of fourth.
My daughter's born on the fourth. Yeah. I don't know. She seems like her life's pretty lucky so far. So I don't know. You know, um, my I mean, we also have the 13th is 13 is an unlucky number in America or in the West, right? We have
Okay,
the number 13 is considered unlucky in Western
unlucky.
culture. Yeah.
In India, Indian culture, 13 number also unlucky. Consider
Oh,
that.
really? Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
most of the people don't believe on it actually.
No,
Like
no, it's just
if you ask
superstition.
me, I
Yeah.
don't believe in any type of superstition
No,
actually.
no, no, I don't believe in it either. And if that's good because my daughter was born on the fourth. I didn't even realize that until you just said that. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, my daughter's born on the fourth. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
unlucky.
So, Jack, it was a wonderful conversation with you.
Yeah, same.
Amazing. So, being a English teacher, you are a lecturer in a good university in South Korea. So, what would you what would you say about my English speaking? Actually, I
Oh,
want.
you're an A student in my class. You'll be an A student in my class, no problem. You'd be fine. Your
Oh,
English is excellent.
thank
Yeah,
you, thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
It was a great
So,
conversation too. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much for having me on your channel.
okay, okay. Thank you so much for giving your precious time. Okay, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Okay, any other topic we can talk for
Absolutely.
another session.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
wonderful session with you. Thank
Thanks a
you
lot,
so much.
Nisha. Have a great day.
Okay, same
Okay.
to you, same to you.
Thank
Okay,
you. Bye-bye.
take care.